Hey, blessings to the Most High, Yah. Blessings to the universe, blessings to the ancestors, blessings to the issue of consciousness, blessings to you, whoever's watching. I'm MagneticIntuition, and I wanted to talk to y'all today about cryptocurrency and what's going on in this world. Like, there's some great things going on, but there's a dark side to it too. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about some solutions, and I'm going to talk about my experience and what I went through, the hell I went through. But I'm graceful now, you know. I'm blessed. I'm here. I'm living. And if you didn't get a chance to watch my first two videos, I talk about the harassment that I go through every single day with secret societies such as the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and the EasternStars, and etc. You have dark forces that are in the CIA, dark forces that are in the FBI, that have tried to destroy me. So when I get back into it, cryptocurrency, man, it's booming, you know. It's still like the big thing, you know. I remember back in 2019, 2020, one of my old friends was telling me to get into it, and it was real low. I just, I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't even in stocks yet, so I didn't deal with it, and I wish I would have. But like they say, it's the wild, wild west when you're dealing with crypto. So you have to know the security of crypto too. You can't just jump into and put a whole bunch of money and then go around telling people that you're in crypto, because there's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of dark forces, such as the secret societies that I mentioned, that will steal your crypto if you have a high amount of it. And I want to start off by talking about what happened to me and how I overcame the situations that I had with crypto. Alright, so I'm going to start off by saying that I actually invested in crypto back in 2020, yeah, when COVID-19 was going on. That's when it dropped like crazy, I had extra money. I was like, let me put it in, let me see what it does. And it did really good, but I never actually took any profits, I know one of the mentors that I had in the past, he was telling us, don't do any trading as a beginner, go ahead and go in and build up, just invest, So that's what I did, But I bought other cryptos too, and I was buying whatever I thought was good, I was just running around buying a whole bunch of different cryptos, getting into the hype, and all that. So back in 2021, there was some guys I met in Ethiopia. I met up with in Ethiopia, and they basically were scammers. If you look at my first video, I explained pretty much why people were following me around and why people were trying to destroy my life. It's called gang stalking, and there were some Americans that were in Ethiopia that actually were spying on me, and we stayed in contact. So we met in 2018. But we stayed in contact. When I came back in 2021, we got to, we met up in Ethiopia and all that. And we talked about cryptocurrency. We used to talk about it all the time. And the whole time, he was basically setting me up. Like, yo, go ahead and invest in this crypto. And by coincidence, these cryptos that he was talking about investing were actually cryptos that you can only put in the atomic wallet. This is like a decentralized wallet that you can use. Decentralized meaning that it's not like in a centralized platform like Coinbase, cryptocurrency. So in other words, decentralized would be more or less like it's yours, it's your keys, right? Like it's yours, right? It's like cash, right? It's yours in your hands, right? But you need like some private keys to tap into it if you want to access it, right? But centralized like Coinbase and crypto.com will be more or less like your banks, right? You have to go to them in order to take your money out. So as I continue, he was telling me, yo, get this crypto, and then, you put it in this decentralized bank. So I was doing it. And I always used to leave my laptops, of course, in the hotel, And one time we was going to another city, and I asked him, hey, can I leave my bag at your crib in Ethiopia? And he was like, cool, we was going to another city together. He was like, yeah, of course, He had a little smirk on his face. So I was like, okay. I didn't think nothing of it. So when I left my bag there, maybe one of his guys that's in this identity theft ring, because they have like a little identity theft ring in Ethiopia. Some Americans are out there and they're doing their thing out there, just doing people crazy. But anyway, so when I left my bag there, someone went into my laptop and hacked it. So what happens when they hack your laptop? Whatever you do on your laptop after someone hacks your laptop, they can see everything on your laptop. They can access anything. Sometimes if your laptop is hacked, you might see someone clicking on it. Or if they're in like your internet network, you can see someone clicking on your laptop. And you're like, yo, this thing is hacked. Like, what's going on? How did someone get in here? So that's what usually happens. They sneak. Sometimes they sneak into your house because they have these networks of secret societies where they work together. Your neighbors could be in that secret society, so they could be the lookout as someone else comes into your crib and hacks into your system, into your laptop or computer or whatever, and you won't even know. They'll leave and they're the lookout, they're working together as a team. So you have to be very careful. My recommendation is always travel with your laptop wherever you go. Have a little bag. Just bring it with you, because even in hotels, and I used to go to work, I travel for work. So when I'm at work, I used to leave my laptop in my room, and of course, people used to come in there and hack my laptop, So it could be like 10 to 15 different people that's hacked into my laptop and have access to it now, So just be careful with that. But that's how they generally hack into your laptops. And then there was a time when I was transferring my funds, my crypto, from the atomic wallet to my phone. And when I showed my keys, my private keys, which I can use to access my crypto on another device, I showed it on my laptop. When I showed it on my laptop, the hackers, they were watching it on my screen, and they hacked into it. I looked at my wallet a couple of days later, and my money was gone. My money was gone like that, So I spent like $10,000 on that particular on the atomic wallet. All the cryptos I had on there, but it was worth like $20,000, $22,000, around that range. So at that time, I was devastated, man. I went to report it to the police. When I reported it to the police in my city, I noticed that the police officer only put his first name on the report. So I was confused. I'm like, why would he do that? I think I talked about this in another video, but I was like, why would he do that? Come to find out, I'm putting things together, and I'm like, wow, these people are all in the same secret society, So I took it a step further, and I went to, let me rewind real quick. So a couple of weeks were passing, months were passing. I was calling the crime, I guess the crypto crime number for the police station, that hotline. And they was giving me the runaround. I was like, what's going on? They would say stuff like, can you prove it? And I was like, what? That's supposed to be your job. Why are you asking me if I could prove who stole my crypto if that's your job to investigate it? So if you ever got your crypto stolen, I would recommend just making an FBI report. Make an FBI report. Just type in crypto theft FBI on Google and it'll just pop up for you, and make a report, because you can report, of course you can report it to the local police, but it don't work. It just doesn't. It didn't work for me, I can't say the same for you, but it didn't work for me. So to move on, so I was devastated about the money I lost, but at the same time, someone has been playing with my laptop for years, just messing with my laptop. So I'm like, yo, somebody's been hacking all my laptops for years. At least I get to report what's going on. I'm that type of person that I want to know what's going on. If I have to risk money to find out what happened, what's going on, like who's hacking in my life, I'll do it, So even though I was upset, really, angry about it, at the same time, I was like, I could get justice for this, regardless. So I found out it was the secret societies. They were following me around every day, and one day, some clues just started popping up, and things started getting really weird, and I found out exactly who was attacking me and etc. Putting scare tactics together, trying to get me to walk away from my crypto, and that's not happening, bro. Sorry. So anyway, so let me talk about a couple of other things. Number one, never put your crypto on your phone. Never. And the reason why I say that is, it's even easier for someone to steal your crypto on your phone than on a laptop. Because on a laptop, they have to physically have your laptop in order to control it. On your phone, all you have to do is, all they have to do, the secret societies or even an independent hacker, all they have to do is pay someone to SIM swipe your phone. Which really means, what I'm trying to say is, someone can pay a cell phone company representative to pretty much hack your phone for them, so they can have access. So they have teams for that. In the secret societies, they have a bunch of teams for that. From what I heard online, I think the dark web, from what I heard from doing research, I think they pay these people like $1,000 to $4,000 or something like that, something in that sense. So I've heard 10,000 too. So I think it ranges from depending on who's doing the hacking and all that. So that SIM swiping, that's what it is. Your SIM card gets duplicated, and somebody else now controls your phone. So they could forward all your calls to their phone. And when your crypto gets stolen on your phone, but there's also identity theft. Like, who gets the blame for it? It should be the cell phone companies. There should be more security, that controls that take place in these situations. But it's been going on for a long time, and I don't think people understand how dangerous it is to put your crypto on your phone. So I mentioned the SIM swiping. Another thing I would say is, don't tell people that you have crypto. If I didn't mention it already, please do not tell people you have crypto. There's people that talk about it because they have these big channels, they have YouTube channels, and I understand, in those situations, they're gurus and they have their forums and their classes, and that's cool, they're more educated on how to take care of their crypto. But as a beginner and as someone that may not be an expert, I would recommend not telling people that you have crypto. Just keep it on the hush. Everybody doesn't need to know that you have crypto. So the number one issue is people finding out that you have crypto. Now you're going to be a target because people are just going to talk about it eventually. People are money hungry. So just be careful telling people what you have and what you own. Alright, so let me get to another one. Never share your screen. Never share your screen. I made that mistake one time. I shared my screen with somebody I thought was a friend of mine. And he was actually one of the guys that was a part of my crypto theft. He was in a secret society. That stole my crypto theft. So So be careful. Do not share your screens. Don't share your screens, please. Because that person will have access to your screen and they could do some damage. So please don't share your screens. Alright. So another thing I want to talk about is change your internet network. Like if you have AT&T or if you have Verizon, when you actually get your service, if you haven't already, make sure you change like the username and the password. Like let's say for instance, the username to sign into your AT&T account or your AT&T internet. Like if you're on your phone and you sign into it and it's like AT&T 1777, go ahead and change that. You want to change that because if you keep the default username, then it's much easier to hack for a hacker to come. They have scanners. The hackers, they have scanners where they drive around and they're scanning homes. It's crazy out here. I'm telling y'all, it's so crazy. Like the technology that's out here, you wouldn't believe it. So if you keep your internet network name as a default name and you don't change it, you're liable to get hacked. So just be careful. Change your password, change your username. That's the best I could tell you because people are hungry for money. And this is how they make money. This is how they make their money. Like literally, these scammers, they will get you. So make sure you take care of yourself. Let me see what else I want to get to. So the emails. So if you use Gmail for your crypto, change that. Don't do it because Gmail doesn't have strong security. I've had so many people like hack into my Gmail due to identity theft. Identity theft victim. So make sure you change your email to like a Proton. Try Proton security. I'm sorry. The email called Proton Mail. Try that one. I think that's the best one. If I'm not mistaken, they're located in Switzerland, so you don't have to worry about like any in-house, anyone working for Google, and all that craziness, so, or any dark force that works for the FBI, CIA, or whatever else they got out there. And they say, that wants to just spy on you, So just don't use Gmail. That's the easiest email address to email provider that, you could get hacked in. Trust me. By experience, I'll tell you that. Let me see what else I got for you. I made a list over here so I wouldn't forget. All right, so you have your crypto platforms like crypto.com, Coinbase, and etc. So the biggest issue with those companies is the employees, right? You're always gonna have someone that's an employee that's trying to make extra money, right? Or that's in the secret societies, right? And they can make big money just by giving your email away. All a hacker needs is your email to sign into your account, right? So if they have access to your email, then they're just gonna run. They're gonna put your email in, and they're gonna run some tools, like some hacking tools, on that email, and they're gonna try to hack into your crypto accounts, you know. So that's what I mentioned before. The what you call the centralized companies like Crypto.com, Coinbase. What else you got? Qcoin. You know, they're good. They're good companies to work with and buy crypto, but it's a big risk because the identity theft. You know, and then they have employees that work for them that may be fraudulent. You know, so if you do buy from these companies, just try to put it in a decentralized account. Wallet. I'm sorry. So I think that'll be the best bet for you. Yeah. Because what they're doing is they're selling your information on the dark web. And I've received so many emails about my email address being on the dark web. So just be careful with that. Let me see what else we got for you. Yeah, so another thing, the dark forces, they like taking your picture for facial recognition. So let's say you're in a conversation, right? Per se. And you're on the phone, right? Let's say you're on the phone. This isn't the phone, but let's say you're on the phone, right? And someone's in front of you, and they have their camera right in your face. I would be very wary about that because they may be taking your picture for facial recognition. They may have an app to take your facial recognition so they can hack into your account. Whatever you use facial recognition for, do not use it for any crypto websites, you know? Trust me on that. Or anything, because someone can easily take a picture before you even know it. They have apps for that, so just be very careful how you move out here. Okay. So another scheme that I noticed was fingerprinting. Oh man. That's one of the coldest ones. So I had a coworker, and he did two things. One that I just mentioned, and then the fingerprint, right? So the first thing he did was, we were sitting at work, you know, it was very slow at work. We had a 12-hour shift, and I was sitting down, let's say I'm sitting down here, and he was sitting on my right side, right? So what he was doing, he was on his phone, but he was towards my way. So what he was doing was he was taking pictures of my eyes. He was getting facial recognition of my eyes. So I went to the restroom, came back, and now he was sitting on the left side. And what he was doing, he was taking pictures on my left side. Then what he did was, he was like, "Hey, can you show me like where we put the time in and blase blase?" So I took my finger and I, went on his phone and did all that. That was to take my fingerprints. And I found this out because I found out that he was a Freemason. So just be very careful. These people are very, very vicious and very intelligent when it comes to crimes. That's one thing I get to them. If they do anything, not right, but if they do anything good, if they have skills in anything, it's definitely depth in anything. So be very careful. Fingerprints, pictures of your eyes. It's a mess out here, but this can't last forever, So this is why I'm making this video, because I realize how important it is, to people, I don't want you to get into situations I got into. Yeah. So as I continue with the crypto theft, another thing they like to do is follow you everywhere you go. Because now that they know that you have a lot of crypto, they want to follow you and see your patterns and see where you go and where you sleep. If you're at work, where do you put your bag, and all this other type of stuff. Because the thing about it, if they have access to your laptop, all they have to do, really, they don't even have to be around you, but if they have that internet connection, like one guy, he used to like literally sleep down the street from where I lived at, like maybe like 400 feet away, like right down the street, real close, right? And he used to sit there on his laptop while I'm at the home, looking at my crypto or anything else. He's there looking at it in his car, and he's acting like he's homeless. I walked past his car plenty of times, and he's just sitting there on his computer. And I was like, man, is this guy spying on me? And then I found out he was spying on me, because when I reported it to the FBI, he ended up going like up the street to the park, and he's just sitting in the parking lot in the park. So be very careful. You never know who's following you. If you have high amounts of crypto, or if you're wealthy or rich in general, you have to be real careful, But for this video, I'm talking about crypto, right? So they follow you around and they see where you're gonna go. If you're gonna put your laptop in the gym locker room, I mean, it's just a mess, man. It's just a mess. So let me move on to public Wi-Fi's. Never, ever use a public Wi-Fi while transacting with cryptocurrency. Please don't do it. Don't do it. That's one of the easiest ways to get your crypto got. That's one thing I knew. Even as a beginner, I knew that. Like, never do the public Wi-Fi's while using crypto. Just wait till you get to your home network. I understand, if you're doing trading, you don't want to miss that trade, but it's not worth it, It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. So let's keep moving on it. All right. So this is a little more in your personal, right? So at your home, of course, many people, they use cameras, to make sure that, they have security, right? So I would recommend, put your cameras outside. You could check your driveway for your car, any of your back door, your front door, or put it in your window. Do not put cameras in your home. Whatever you do not put them in your home. Because if someone wants to spy on you, especially secret society, right? They can easily look at you while you're in your house, 24/7. As long as your camera is on, and you have the app in your phone, and they can hack your phone by SIM swiping, like I just mentioned, they can see everything on their phone, because remember, they duplicated your SIM card. So now they can see everything that's on your phone. So I recommend, do not put cameras in your home. If it's a business, that's fine, no problems, right? But if it's your home, just leave them on the outside perimeters, just for your safety, just for your privacy. Because they can zoom in and they can see everything you're doing, and you don't want people to know, like, you may have a safe. You may not want people to know where your safe is. Now, for me, it's a different story. If you've seen my first 2 videos, I explained how there's hidden cameras everywhere I go. When I book an Airbnb, there's always a hidden camera in every room that I'm at. Even now, I'm in an Airbnb. There's cameras everywhere. The second I do certain things in the Airbnb I'm staying at, I hear a big room outside, or I hear some tapping, or something telling me, someone's telling me, like, hey, I see what you're doing, It's just a mess, man. It's a mess. And these people will pay for what they're doing to me. That's for sure. So anyway, no cameras in the home, please. We need you to have privacy. Unfortunately, we live in a world where, you know, satanic people control many things, you know. And in my first video, I mentioned that I believe, from my experience, that 40% of the U.S. people are demonic. I'm sorry, you know, I just had to say that. You know, it's the reality that I've seen, you know. So I'm just letting you know that almost half people in this country are demonic and possibly in secret societies. 40%. All right, so another thing I want to talk about is the smart TVs, all right? I mentioned in my second video that the smart TVs have built-in cameras, and you must be aware of those cameras. I mean, I found out, I mentioned in my second video, I found out because whenever I was doing like yoga or push-ups or anything like that, I would go to like a park, local park, and like one of the secret society members, whether it was a Mason, Freemason, or EasternStar, they would imitate what I'm doing, you know? Like if I'm doing a headstand for like 5 minutes, that's what I do, right? And then I'll be walking, and then somebody would just walk up near me, and then they'll just do a headstand. Or I do push-ups a lot, you know? So if I'm walking, someone that's just start doing push-ups in front of me, I'm just like, bro, I don't have no life, man. Like, go somewhere, you know? But I'll get my justice in due time, you know? I just want to warn y'all that if you have a smart TV, it has a camera installed, so just be careful, okay? So that includes crypto, you know? Just be careful, you know? Alright, so what else? I want to make sure I covered everything, because this may be one of my most important videos, because I know many people are in crypto and don't know the things that I know about crypto security, you know, or security in general, you know. So like I said, just keep your mouth shut about crypto, people knowing who you are and what you have, you know, because there's groups out here that will come and get you. They'll come and get you, seriously. And fortunate for me, when I got my crypto stolen, I was in... So remember I told y'all that, like, many people had hacked into my laptop because I left in different places. So in the first video I mentioned that I was in Zambia, and while I was at a so-called friend's house, I was being distracted by her while a German guy was in my Airbnb room hacking like my laptop and whatever else I had in my backpack, my USB and all that, you know. So you never know who's hacking in your stuff while you're busy, you know. So that's why I say your best bet is just to get like a very small laptop just for your crypto. That's another thing. My instructor, not my mentor at the time, he had told everyone, like, hey, like, have a separate laptop for your crypto. Don't put your crypto on a laptop that you use everything for, you know? And he mentioned that, and I always told myself I was going to buy another laptop. I never did. And then, because I thought that my phone was good enough, but like I mentioned, that's not good. If you're in crypto, you could buy a cheap laptop. I don't care, $200, $300, $400, you know? Just buy an extra one and use that. Have one just for crypto, and keep that laptop with you everywhere you go, please. So like I mentioned, the guy in Zambia, the German in Zambia, he broke into my laptop. The guy in Ethiopia, the American Ethiopia, broke into my laptop. When I work, I'm always traveling for work, and I'm in different hotels around the U.S. I'm in hotels almost every month, right? For like 2 or 3 weeks, right? Working in different cities, right? So while I'm out at work, my laptop is at the hotel, and guess what? These secret societies, they have people that clean your rooms that are in these secret societies, right? So you have to be very careful out here. You don't know who's watching you. You really don't have any privacy, by the way. And I think many of y'all know that, right? In this day and age with technology, you really don't have privacy. Even this laptop that I'm using is hacked. Everything I got is hacked. So I definitely wanted to get this video out. I pray that everyone's safe out here. Just be aware at all times. Man, I got much love for y'all, much respect. And always think the Most High. Always pray. Better days are coming. Blessings.